Hello, hello, hello. See here. We're good to go. Looks like it. Alright. So, I wasn't able to stream last week. I was busy. Family was visiting, so I wasn't able to do that. But we're back at it again. This time, following up on before I reviewed this gentleman's debate preparation for this debate. So we'll see how it goes. I did see like a little bit of this, and it was very strange. So I suppose we'll get into it. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Laws are enforced and only enforced by the police. So, because inside every cop is a feral pig, that when you talk to police, they will easily twist your words without any guilt whatsoever.
How dumb is that? Malice doesn't know when to shut up.
Yeah, like what the fuck's with all these like extra people on the stage? It's like, why isn't it just like a debate between, I suppose maybe these guys like moderating or something? But I feel like they could have just had Michael Malice and Anne-Marie Cops up there with some resolution or whatever.
A very specific question you will not answer.
Correct, I won't.
You won't.
Well,
Wait, I changed my mind. You're right. You barely said anything, and you look like a felon out of all of us. You can find out afterwards if you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, pardon me, I'm losing my voice, but I'll do my best. This is the second live culture war at the DC Comedy Loft. We got a great panel here. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very funny. I imagine it'll be a bit contentious. This is the great police debate. Why don't we start from the right and have everybody introduce themselves?
Do you have a filter on the video audio? Yes, I believe so. Why does it sound weird? Sounds muffled. Does it sound muffled for everybody? I don't know, I suppose I'll see you in a second.
Hi, my name is Rich. I do things on the internet, and I'm also a police officer on YouTube. It's called Angry Cops.
Yeah. You guys know who I am? Primetime 99. I am the pimp on a blimp, and I say, fuck the police!
I would gladly get fucked by that man.
Like, what the fuck is, sounds alright to me, okay. Actually got, like, this, like, sort of comedy act going on of Michael Malice's position. Supposedly on Michael Malice's side, but, like, he's clearly joking, so it's like, what was it, a 2v1 or something? with Tim Pool, moderating. This is getting strange.
No Diddy.
Hey everybody, I am Michael Malice, and I'm here to remind you that the cops are not your friend, that you can talk your way into an arrest, but you can't talk your way out of them.
I'm Jason Ellis. I'm a criminal. I was born in Australia, so I want to say fuck the police, but I really like them, but I don't know. Fuck everybody.
Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am Tim Pool, your host, along with co-host Alex Stein. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay, so host and co-host. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't want the hosts to necessarily be getting involved in the debate unless they're hosts and moderators, which does bring up the question of what the hell is this guy doing here? What's his role in all of this? Is it just like a panel discussion where everybody except for Michael Malice believes that the police are good? Like, that's already, you would need for that to happen. I suppose, I suppose if that's what he's agreed to, that's what he's agreed to. You'd need definitely to give Michael Malice at least some amount of space to present his arguments and to have an actual resolution at hand. So it's not just a shit show. It's bad faith from the start. I don't know why he bothers. Yeah, this is a very strange setup. I don't understand what's even going on here, because it's saying Angry Cops versus Michael Malice. It's not saying big panel discussion on the police, Right? It's about the framing. This is supposed to be a debate. I don't know why all these extra people are here.
Fun. And of course, I think to kick off the great conversation, I will start with the truth, and that is no cop anywhere, for any reason, has ever done anything wrong.
I disagree.
So you guys admit that you're corrupt? Okay, debate, you lost.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, you guys, let's get out of here.
I guess it's over. We'll all give up now and let Baltimore go back to what it was.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, again, they're just making it like a comedy show. Like, hey, let me just make like a caricature, for you to just bat down. why don't you take the topic seriously? I don't know. Why is it? Why there's a very much a lack of seriousness being presented here. I suppose if they're all just pals and they're palling around, that might be fine, but it's not a debate.
Because there's no cops in Baltimore. What I want everyone here to realize, because this is something I'm being...
Again, that was a good point from Michael Malice there. Angry Cops was kind of glibly being like, oh yeah, no, let's just make it all like Baltimore. We just have everywhere like Baltimore. But of course there are police in Baltimore. The reason why Baltimore is such a horrible place is because there's a monopoly enforcing the law, right? So if there's a monopoly, you're going to get shitty services, right? This is something I'm not sure Angry Cops will necessarily be able to contend with. I can't really remember much from his preparation, but I remember not liking his preparation very much.
Being very serious now, despite dressing in my clown costume.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Right. Okay. If you think this is flattering, that speaks to you. What I want to point out in all seriousness is it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Communist, Anarchist, Fascist in your day-to-day life. What matters is how you interact with the police. And you need to appreciate that they are not there if they show up to never talk to the police. They are there to hurt you by their own admission. And I want everyone to repeat after me something very simple. It's all I want you to think today. Cops are human beings. Can you repeat that after me? 1, 2, 3. Cops are human beings. And human beings are capable of great heroism and great evil. And you'll hear my colleague throughout the day acting as if cops aren't human beings, and they act differently than other human beings. They do not. They are human beings, period. And that means certain corollaries, which I think most of us understand, and which I look forward to us exploring today.
So I have a question.
I think that's a good opening. It's a good way to like frame the debate. He's because now in your mind he can just keep harkening back to this. It's like, hey, look, he's pretending that cops are not human beings, but cops are human beings, so they are capable of these bad things. And presumably, if people are capable of bad things, you don't want them to have some sort of monopoly power to enforce their will against you whenever the hell they decide, right? So this is a good way to frame the debate from from Malice. I think it'll be interesting to see if Mr. Cops can handle his way around that.
Question. Because there's that famous Supreme Court Justice.
Castle Rock?
Is that who that was? And he said never talk to the
Oh,
police.
no, he was a former Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Yes.
Here's the issue is that I've had people try to kill me and my
Who's
family.
talking over there?
They should not be. No, so this
Am I going to have to?
Already abusing authorities. One of us. One of us.
Okay, here's a serious question. My family's been threatened. We've had crazy people show up threatening us. We had a guy show up to our old property and attack one of our employees. I have no choice but to talk to the police.
Because of the police, correct. So if you had a different kind...
Very good. Very good from Malice there. I'll rewind so you can finish this entire point there. But indeed, that's utterly correct, because it's like, well, Tim Pool's kind of trying to frame this as if like, well, I mean, I just got to go to the police, and the police, they help me. It's like, well, the reason why you got to go to the police, the reason why you have no choices, is because the police are enforcing a monopoly here. So that's a bad thing. You should have the choice to have private security, a good, actual, proper private security, which are actually able to enforce your rights properly. Like right now, private security, they've got their hands tied behind their back, and they're blinded, and they're hopping on one leg. Like they're really screwed over by the fact that there is a police monopoly. They've got to. If the police want to overrule them, then that's the end of the day. That's the end of discussion. If they want to, arrest some shoplifter and bring them to trial, the police will say, no, you're not allowed to do that because they're underneath the $1,000 limit or whatever. This is a problem caused by the police, so we should be opposed to the police here. Like this is a very good reframing from Malice. But yes, I'll let Malice finish the entire point.
I have no choice but to talk to the police.
Because of the police, correct. So if you had a different kind of...
Well, no, because we want to stop them from doing it.
did they do that?
The people, they stop?
Yeah.
So
the
I'll
cops
put it this
stop
way.
them? Did the cops do the job they claimed they were going to do?
This is a very good point from Malice. It's again, he's able to just reframe all of these things. It's like, well, we need them to stop them. Well, did they in fact stop them? Did the police actually enforce your rights? Did they do what is supposed to be the entire justification of their existence? The answer is, for the most part, no, they don't. Right?
Probably not.
It's
no.
like C+.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you have a producer on your show... I'm sorry if I'm interrupting your guys' conversation.
Shut the fuck up!
If you have a
Disorderly conduct.
if you have a producer who's... What is wrong with you? If you have a producer who's not doing their job, you get rid of them. If you have a photographer, if you have a sidekick, co-host, whatever, you get rid of them. It is when you have a monopoly on a service where there's absolutely no accountability. If you watch any, I know how many people here have been burglarized. I hope it's few of you, but some of us have. There's not even, if Amazon doesn't deliver a package, you get a refund or store credit. If a store doesn't deliver a product, you get a refund or store credit. It is only a monopoly when there's actually not even a pretense that, yeah, we're here to protect you, but if we didn't, well, tough shit, there's nothing, we're not even going to pretend to do something about it. And everyone just kind of takes this as a given because this is the world we grew up in. And my point is, it's not at all acceptable that someone who takes a job onto themselves and who doesn't deliver, you're just like, oh, well, what are you going to do? That's all I'm saying.
Fair point.
And I would like, what I want now to happen is instead of for Tim Pool to jump in and try and have a little side debate here, I don't know if he's going to do that. I really want Mr. Cops to be responding to this, like, hey, there's this problem because you're a monopoly. You're able to just do a bad service. It's only with monopolies that you're able to just not even do your job, right? Not do the only thing you're supposed to be doing, which is protecting people's rights. It's only because you're a monopoly. You're able to just not do that, and it's just tough shit, right? So, what is Mr. Cop's response to that? I want, instead of for Tim to jump in to have a side debate here, I want Tim to throw this question strongly at Mr. Cops, make Mr. Cops respond to this. That's what needs to happen here to have a debate, right? It's a debate.
Point. We did hire private security after this.
You had to.
Yeah.
And you pay.
Oh my god. Okay. Well. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. Private security, and you have to have private security now. Angry Cops.
A lot in taxes, and if that money was being used correctly, this problem wouldn't. Those people would be in the.
Yeah, Rich.
And real quick, Rich.
I'm on Michael's side.
No, not just yeah, Rich. No, not just glibly like. See, like that was a good point, right? It was a good point that he brought up. It needs responding to. You can't just have like, and now it's just a joke again, right? That was an actual point which needs to be responded to, and so right now, I'm just counting that as just on the flow that monopolies lead to bad. They don't do their job. So if the justification of police is that they're doing this job, which is protecting our rights, well, because they're a monopoly, they don't do that. So I'm just going to keep that on the flow that it's a monopoly, so they don't actually do their job. So yeah, I want to see that responded to. Actually, should I note this down? Maybe I should note this down. Let me just notes org. I'll do it in graphics. Because I mean, I've seen on Twitter plenty of people claiming that this was just a complete blowout for Angry Cops. So let me actually just track the flow here to see if that was a blowout. So the justification. You guys can't see this. Let's just actually treat this as a debate and really track the flow. I'll just keep that off screen, and whenever we need to add something, we'll add something. We'll see if Angry Gops can address this point. We'll really go after it at the end and see who has flowed through. Because I'm kind of tired of, I believe if you go into the, people like Mr. Electrician are going on like, oh my god, it was a complete blowout. Oh my god, Malice got destroyed. Oh my god. So I want to see. I haven't gone through this whole thing. I haven't tabulated the flow. I want to see if Michael Malice truly does lose.
This problem wouldn't. Those people would be in the.
Yeah, Rich.
And real quick, Rich.
I'm on Michael's side now.
Well, I want to say this though, as a black man, like I get pulled over all the time.
Yeah.
For driving while black.
Yeah.
And you're always like, oh, you have weed. Yeah, I have weed, but I mean, you shouldn't. I shouldn't.
Like, because again, this problem with probably having fucking a bunch of jokers on stage, is that this was a legitimate point that needs to be addressed in this debate on police, and I was just, oh no, now we don't, now that's in the background because now we got this joke point about I'm a black man and I'm being pulled over for being black. It's like, what the fuck? This just gets in the way of the debate. It's pointless to have these people. To whatever extent these people are jutting in with their irrelevant little like, oh, and now I get a clip, you know, oh, and now I get a clip. To whatever extent that is occurring, you're not having a debate. So it's just getting in the works.
You shouldn't be racially profiled by, you know, some bald asshole, you know, like yourself. So
Stop slinging that big fat black dick and banging my white wife.
that's true. You are right. You have
Yeah, because again, that wasn't a legitimate point. It was a joke point. So now angry cops can come back with another joke point. And now we've just got a joke flow at the same time as an actual flow. And we'll see. And then it's like, hey, we can point to the joke flow and look how many jokes I got. And therefore I won. Look how much the audience was laughing. It's like, it's the debate equivalent of clapter, where in some comedy show, a lot of modern comedians, they'll measure how well they're doing by how many claps they were getting rather than how many laughs they were getting. In this debate, they're measuring it by how many laughs they're getting rather than whether they're actually flowing through. This is, just give us the debate. When does the debate start? That's what I want to know, because the debate hasn't started yet, really. I mean, there is 1 point from Malice here, but, you know, are they actually going to, is this just an intro? And then they'll get into the debate, like in the latter half or something. It's like, now our people go onto the stage and actually start debating. I wonder what the producers told Malice to expect. If he knew it was going to be unserious, I mean, I don't know. He seems kind of like, he is actually bringing points, so, I don't know what the expectation was.
a good point. So, yeah. I just, you know, what do you say about that? That sometimes some cops will target.
No. Not what do you say about this? Not what do you say about this? It's not. What's this guy's name again? Alex Stein. It's not Alex Stein versus angry cops on the police. It's not the great police debate. Alex Stein versus angry cops. It's Michael Malice versus angry cops. Why don't we get a response to Michael Malice's point? Why are we getting? What are you saying about how the police are really racist? Like, no, this is not relevant. Come on, why are we having like these constant like little side debates and like joke offs? Like this is nonsense.
People or minorities.
Well, that's because we have small penises and we're jealous of the amount of money that they make tax free from selling drugs.
Again, and he's just able to just make a fucking complete joke response here again, because it's not a legitimate debate. This is not the debate that was agreed to. So it doesn't fucking matter what Alex Stein goddamn says. Who cares what Alex Stein says? It matters what Michael Malice says, and by this point, everybody has forgotten what Michael Malice said. Nobody remembers what Michael Malice said. So now people can just fucking write off this entire part of the flow, and it's like, whoa, no wonder they fucking thought Malice lost, because they just keep writing off everything from this fucking flow.
Drugs.
This is my favorite cop. This is a good cop.
And Michael, you're very intelligent, and I respect you, and I'm glad that you dressed up like me. Maybe unintentionally, but the mustache is great. But I would have to.
If you pause every time there's a joke, you're going to be here for 62 hours. You're going to have to get used to how bad this is. Well, I suppose, yeah. I'm just going to have to, like, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just drag the flow up on screen every time I see it, and then we'll all know that this is not part of the fucking debate.
I had to push back on the monopoly thing because there's tons of private enterprises that do
There we
private
go.
security work, including people that fight against the exploitation of children and work alongside police and do better than police because they're privatized.
Correct.
So yeah, we don't have a monopoly on protecting the American
You have
citizen.
a monopoly on arrest, you have a monopoly on putting people in
There we
jail,
go.
and it's always a given that if there's an emergency, there's not a 911 that is like an Uber service for people who have to maybe be qualified, pass certain certifications, and then they can have a rating.
Wait,
based,
I'm sorry, there is now. We covered this called like Protect. It's in California. They're starting to make them.
sure,
Uber for
that's
security.
exactly what should
And really, these things should be allowed to flourish, right? That's the point, right? Because there is a monopoly, really, right? Everybody's forced to pay for the police. The police get the final say. Like, this is the whole point. They're like the final arbiter. Right? They're supposed to be the ones who are allowed to, hey, if you want to run your little private security agency, you got to follow our rules. You got to do it our way. Like, that's not private enterprise. That's Soviet central planning.
be universal.
And there's police boards that state, or they go over like a police officer's background and their complaints, and they're part of the community. They're part of like a mayoral.
Right. So we all know what happens in schools. I know someone who's this mentally handicapped guy who's doing a lot of great work because teachers' unions do a great job of protecting the predators from having any consequences for their behavior.
Very true.
And do you know why? Because teachers are human beings. And unions
There we go. Okay, so we've got another point on the flow. Well, I'll put it actually here. police do good because they get performance reviews. Performance. Police unions protect them. So, and also, let's put that up there. Police are people. They can do evil.
Unions will act in a certain way. They will protect their own, and that is their job to protect their own. So when teachers act inappropriately, it takes a lot to get them fired. And here's the thing. I know that my colleague and I can't lie because cops only tell the truth. Hashtag believe cops. So everything I say, you should double check for yourselves, right? So Google what police, teachers unions and sexual abuse, and the results will shock you. Now, the idea that the police unions are going to be any different would only be true if cops aren't human beings. They are human beings. And unions act identically, regardless of the field. Their job is to protect their own people from any consequences. And there's story after story. Let's look at the Eric Garner case. How much money would Nancy Pelosi have to give you to put your hands on someone for selling cigarettes? It's insane. And none of those people lost their jobs without any consequences for it. The only person who went to jail in that situation was the photographer.
Did your
Yes, there we go. Okay. It sounds like it's going to be another fucking joke session, but that was also very true. How... I'll say assault. So this would be point here. Right. Yeah.
Mustache coming out of your nose? It's so tight. You guys can't see it. It's like right in the hole.
Now we're just
It's
back to
rooted in the
fucking
brainstem.
jokes.
So I have a question.
The brainstem's in the back.
So when I said that we had
You wouldn't know that, right?
we had a crazy guy come to our property, attack one of the residents there. I said I have to call I talked to the police. And he said because the police make me. Who is going to track this person down and identify them and then lock them up if there were no police?
Well, I don't think that person necessarily should be locked up. I think that person should be in the ground, frankly, number one. Number two is I don't really know necessarily what the alternative would be.
If only we had somebody to investigate it.
Okay. Well, see, he's gonna have to use a lot of sarcasm and quote unquote humor because he knows his position's indefensible.
He's funny.
Let me.
I'm not finished. To answer
You are finished. You trashed it, and then you said you don't have an answer to it.
Ooh.
He's a black woman and
No. He said, I don't necessarily know what the specific answer would be, namely, the basic free market point. It's like if you had a bunch of fucking jeering socialists being like, okay, well, if we get rid of the breadlines, how the hell are you going to produce food? It's like, well, I don't know the specifics. I don't know any of the specifics. It's like, oh, so you trashed it, and then you say you don't have an answer. It's like, no, there's more from that point on. There's more to elaborate on that. Okay? The elaboration is that the market always handles it better. Specifically because I can't give you the specifics, okay?
he has the right to speak.
Okay.
Talking about me or him?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I'm finished.
Okay, but here's the point. You said that guy should have been in the ground.
Yeah.
In this scenario, when someone comes into my property and attacks one of the residents, you would agree that, or is the position then put him down, shoot him?
Yeah. And let's talk about how the cops enable this sort of situation.
So okay. I want to get you up. So address that one.
Yeah, sure. So if you look at cases like Jordan Neely in New York, if you look at the 2020 riots, is a great example of this. The cops have no interest or obligation to enforce the law. Every so often, they're just going to say, yeah, you know what, we're not going to do anything about it. And you have absolutely no recourse. In fact, they are far more interested in arresting and persecuting people who are there enforcing the public safety than they are in attacking and harming criminals. Like I said earlier, if someone burglarizes your house, you're going to have no consequences whatsoever. But if that person steals from a CVS or whatever, they're on the streets in 5 minutes and the cops just shrug their shoulders. The cops have a lot of influence with the politicians who give them orders. And you do not hear them saying, wait a minute, you guys are legalizing shoplifting and this is causing problems in the community because they are just there to follow orders. Now, cops, again, are human beings. They are not sociopaths. They just follow orders from them. And that, I think, is something far worse than not having a sense of right and wrong yourself. It's when you take obedient orders from people who are depraved, like Gavin Newsom, like Nancy Pelosi, and just close your eyes and do whatever they tell you. So regarding your situation, it is crazy to me that the only solution we put forward is you have to call the government, and the government's not going to do a good job of it. So I'm not going to even deny for the sake of this debate that the cops are a necessary evil. But I'm just going to have everyone walk away, I hope tonight, with understanding that nevertheless they are an evil.
But it sounds like your argument is more so because we're forced to pay for it.
Well, it's not that we're forced to pay for it, but B, they're not doing what we're paying for. I have no problem with like food stamps, right? We're forced to pay for it. But if no one's starving, great. And if it's wasteful, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't want to see starving kids. You know what I mean? But if you're going to take money for security, why is there any crime at all?
Yeah, so it looks like he's not even making like necessarily the full anarchist argument here, because obviously the anarchist would be against food stamps. But he's specifically focused in on the police. And yeah, again, that's another point on the flow, is that they have no interest or obligation to enforce the law, and that they're taking orders from sociopaths. So that is one way in which, like, you're selecting almost for just bad people. Because again, he's going over this other point of where is it? How much money would the government have to pay you to assault people who are trying to live freely, right? How much money would the government have to pay you to do that? It's going to be a lot of money, right? The police, like a pension. That's about it.
Oh man, I've got like so many rebuttals to the thing that you said. I wish I had a notepad. One, why do police officers get unions? Unions are bad. They only protect the person because there's bad people that take advantage of complaint systems. So then they complain about police officers. They're proactive.
Okay. So, unions. Now, I regard this as not actually responding to the point. Right? Because the point was that police unions are protecting the bad cops. So that is protecting them so that they can indeed do bad, because the unions are also people, right? Police are people, they can do evil. So that was responding to, well, they're doing good because they get performance reviews. Well, performance reviews are nullified by the fact that there are unions. That the reason why you have unions, that doesn't actually respond to the point, right? You need to respond to the point showing that, well, actually the unions can't protect them from these performance reviews. But now your response to why you need unions is that, well, they'll protect you from performance reviews. So this is doesn't he's just recapitulating Michael Malice's argument from earlier. It's like, well, the police are doing good because they get performance reviews. Well, the unions protect them. Well, we need unions to protect them from performance reviews. It's like, yeah, duh. That's the point that you're literally supposed to respond to here. So this does not respond to the point. It's off the flow. It's done.
Two, if you don't want police officers showing up, how do you want us to be proactive? You don't want us to be proactive, but you want us to show up when a crime happens and solve it. But you don't want us to be proactive to stop.
When did Michael Malice say he does want them to be proactive?
Police officers that are proactive. Two, if you don't want police officers showing up, how do you want us to be proactive? You don't want us to be proactive, but you want us to show up when a crime happens and solve it. But you don't want us to be proactive to stop the burglary from happening at Tim's house. Second, what was the other one? There's another one.
Shooting the guy dead?
Shooting the guy dead. Well, that's not good. What if he's accidentally trespassing even though you didn't properly label the signs? Now you killed somebody without justification, so we have to make sure that happens. How does that happen? Rules set in place.
I don't even see Michael Malice said. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see anything on the flow about wanting police to be proactive. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know what he's responding to.
Placed by the government, whether it's local, city, county, etc. Geez, what did he just end on?
I don't know, but Rich, I have a question.
No, I have to take a point.
Yeah. Again, I don't want fucking goddamn Alex Stein coming in here again. And it's like, well, I'm a black woman. It's like, yeah, very funny. Let's have an actual debate here.
Because he did something that's very dangerous, and I want you all to realize what he
I'm a
just
dangerous
did.
man.
You are, because you can kill people with no consequences.
That's not true at all.
Okay, cool.
There are some.
Hold on.
I just dealt with riots from George Floyd.
Okay, that's cool. I'm speaking now. No cop ever does anything bad. Just like if you go to jail, no one's a criminal. Just ask them. But again, he's one of the good ones. It would apply to me. He said
I like
that I don't want the cops to be proactive. That speaks to motive. Now imagine if I have drugs, it's intention to distribute. If we're talking about manslaughter versus murder, talking about motive. He is comfortable getting on a mic in front of everyone and that's being taped and putting words in my mouth. Now imagine a cop has a bad day, you're arrested, he has to testify. He'll have no problem saying, I heard him say it. I heard him say he doesn't want us to be proactive. Now it's your word against his, and you've got a jury, half of whom are going to be complete idiots and think the opposite.
Boom. Very, very good rhetorical flourish here from Michael Malice. You can use the fact that this is a police officer every time that he just kind of makes some shit up. He can be like, well, again, this is why police are so fucking dangerous. Actually, I'm gonna throw that onto the flow there. No, that's not even. Yeah, I just didn't even write it down. I like this from Michael. I like this rhetorical flourish. Again, I'm not saying that's total blowout. Certainly, I'm not seeing any sort of total blowout, which is what everybody was presenting this as. That Malice just gets completely fucking destroyed in this debate. I mean, I'm not fucking seeing it. Like, where exactly is Angry Cops flowing through so far? Like, I don't see it. Like, the one point which actually has a place in the flow doesn't respond to the point. And his second point, well, actually, that's now a point for fucking Michael Malice now. Shows that the police are dangerous yet again. Okay, well, I'm not seeing the blowout. I'm sorry. But thank you very much to Baldy for the 31 Australian dollars. Cops shoot more black... Oh, sorry, it went off the screen. Cops shoot more black people when wearing body cams because video footage will justify their actions. They actually hesitate when not wearing body cams, apparently because of concern about racism allegations. Well, I definitely want police officers to hesitate in every aspect of their job, including the parts about enforcing tax legislation, especially those parts.
Of you, it's 2 against 1. And this happens all the time. I don't care what anyone thinks about me tonight. I care about what you walk away with and realize if you talk to the cop, you just saw he didn't hear everything I said and remember everything I said. I don't blame him. But what happens when he writes that police report? What happens when he testifies against you? You are fucked.
Well, I just want to say this, and Michael makes...
And I like that he's bringing this as like an actual like call to action for the audience. I mean, like, this is a clown show. But at least Michael Malice is getting like these calls to action of, don't speak to the police. Look, you just saw what he just did. He put words in my mouth. What happens when you're actually on the streets and the cop's having a bad day and he's writing that police report? He's gonna lie about you, and it's your word against his.
Some good points, and I would say overall cops probably aren't bad, Rich. But my question for you is, when you looked at the pandemic and you saw some like...
Why is it Alex Stein making a point? Why is Alex Stein in here? It's like, well, my point is the cops aren't all, like, who cares? This is not Alex Stein versus Angry Cops. This is Michael Malice versus Angry Cops. Why are these extra people here? Just chaff.
The mask police, that they're actually using people like yourself to enforce stuff like wearing a mask. Like, is there a line that you would draw where you're like, hey, listen, I believe in the First Amendment more than I believe in my superior telling me what to do?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to follow orders blindly like Michael says? Because a lot of cops did, but a lot of cops were gracious to people like myself that didn't wear masks. So I guess how much personal responsibility do you get even as an officer?
So I want to say that Michael is right in some aspect of this, right? There are people that follow rules, and those rules are bad, and they shouldn't follow them. However, on the same side...
I mean, his main point, the point that he just said was that, hey, you put words in my mouth. This is dangerous for police, because, I mean, it might not even be deliberate. They might not even be deliberately putting words in your mouth, but they have the monopoly power, so you're fucked, right? But this is another point that Michael did bring up, so I suppose maybe he's trying to respond to the earlier point. That, like, they're in violating your rights, and they're okay with this.
Rules, and those rules are bad, and they shouldn't follow them. However, on the same side...
And they shouldn't follow them. I mean, but then where is, like, the discretion? Is the discretion just up to the police officer to follow whatever rules he feels like? No consequences at all? Like, isn't that also a problem? Right? They can just not do their job, effectively.
I want to say that Michael is right in some aspect of this, right? There are people that follow rules, and those rules are bad.
That is a concession, you're right. I should note that on the flow. Boom. Okay, already on 1 point, Malice has gone a concession.
And they shouldn't follow them. However, on the same side, or opposite side of the same coin, there's a thing called police discretion, which I've used before, which says that if I look at something as an individual that happens to be a police officer, and I deem that I don't want to do anything...
Okay. New point. I'll leave it up here. I mean, what is the standard that they're using for what makes a law bad? Who knows, right?
Do anything about it. Good or bad.
Yeah, shouldn't follow those rules of the redaction of positive law. Yeah, like that's why I'm wondering, like, what is the standard that he's using for his discretion, if not the law that he is supposed to be enforcing and supposed to be defending in this debate?
bad. We can debate that later. I can choose not to. And I'll give you a personal example of how I did it in the right way. And that's New York State has very strict firearm policies. I had somebody that came from out of state that had a legal permit from out of state, but in New York State didn't recognize that pistol permit. I pull him over. He had marijuana at the time it was illegal. I pull him out, search the marijuana. He tells me he has a firearm in the car he's carrying legally. He's not in New York State. What do? I unload the firearm, put the firearm in the glove compartment, I put the ammo on a seat, and I say, hey, I'm not one of those New York City cops that doesn't like guns. I'm all about you carrying legally. Go home. If you load it, keep it in your hand, in your, whatchamacallit, the glove compartment. Thank you. And you'd be great on the stand. And take it back to the state that you're from. Make sure you follow all traffic laws.
I'm all for freedom as long as it's legal. What he just admitted to everybody, shamelessly, is that he only enforces the law when he feels like it. There is no...
Oh, come on.
That is true. Okay. Like, this is true. Okay, so Evangelion enthusiast, thank you very much for the $5 US. The standard mystic insight, yeah, I suppose so. Like,
I'm saying that he uses discretion. I think that's a little different.
but it's not different. Well, that's the point with that. That's the problem with having all these fucking jokers here. Michael Malice is correct. Okay, it's not different. That's actually just what discretion means. Like, he used it in like the good way there, by his like mystic standard that he divined that the Second Amendment is actually good and to be enforced. But like, actually no, because like that is literally what he's saying. So he could have the discretion in a different way. It's like, oh, you're getting assaulted, are you? Well, you were out after midnight, so I have the discretion not to bother enforcing your rights anymore, because I don't like you, and I'm having a bad day. Or I have the discretion, oh, you got a lot of money on you. Maybe that's being used for drugs. I'm going to take that from you, right? Like, the discretion goes in both ways. Like, I know of Mr. Cops. He wants it like, well, I'm so good that I use the discretion in the good way. I mean, look at my example. But again, police are people.
No. Let him speak. Let him
Yes,
talk.
I am going
Let him
to
talk.
Electrician tries to reframe this point by Malice in the comments of this video. I never thought I would see a day an anarchist got mad at a cop utilizing discretion to not have someone convicted with felony firearm charges for unknowingly convicting a BS felony. I mean, why is it bullshit? Are you a natural law theorist now? Okay. For exercising the Second Amendment. Well, no, what he's getting pissed off at is the fact that he has this ability to just choose what he wants to do at any point, and there are no consequences. That's what he's getting angry at. He's not getting angry at the fact that he didn't, violate this guy's Second Amendment rights. He wants the police gone so that they wouldn't do any of the violations. Okay?
There's no other product or service where if the person has a good day or bad day, it's what's going to happen as a result of it.
That's not true. That's not true.
You go to any store and you ask the barista for coffee, they're not going to be like, nah, I'm not going to give you
What
coffee.
about the, what is it, the Malaysian flight MH370, right? That pilot was having a bad day, and then they all died.
We're talking about America.
No.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about America as the right response there. I mean, obviously he's just trying to get through these fucking, peanut throwers. Like the point he's making is that, hey, I'm not allowed to just as a pilot, for instance, go, nah, I'm not flying the plane today, and like kick back and start reading a magazine and sit on the tarmac for like 5 hours and then go, all right, now I'll take off. Like, I get fucking fired, right? But the police officer, they're allowed to just say, nah, I'm not doing that today, and they don't get fucking fired, right? That's the point. If the barista said, no, I'm not giving you your coffee, they'd get fired. Okay, unless they have like some legitimate reason to say no, get out of the store. You're like naked and masturbating or whatever. But the point is that any other profession, if it's actually like capitalist and there's competition, they can't get away with just, nah, I don't feel like doing my job right now. Like that's the point. Because it's a monopoly, they get the discretion to choose what to do at any point, and this is bad.
Michael,
They got teleported away
Michael,
by orbs in the sky.
Yeah.
Michael, the bartenders right there can get in trouble for overserving. They can choose not to overserve you. Isn't that?
Sure. So anyway, what I'm
And that's not the same thing as discretion. That's a policy at the bar. And by the way, it's so that they don't get sued because thanks to Mr. fucking Police with your state's laws, right? That's so that they don't get sued or anything, right? But that's an actual policy. That's not just the bartender decides I don't want to do my job anymore. That is the bar said, no, your job is to not overserve. That's part of your job. Right, so that's not them deciding to not do their job.
What I'm trying to say is,
Ignored it.
I am going to ignore it because this is a distraction. Because the bartender doesn't have the power to put you in a cage. Only cops have the discretion, as he pointed out, that at any time they can throw you in the back of their cop car, throw you in a cell, say disorderly conduct. They've got, and the thing is, cops come in pairs. They have to, right? They have to have backup, and that makes sense. So I put my backup here as well. 1 second.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I hope you brought me a wig.
This is Officer Oinks.
Yeah, going, going.
I wish you would have called him Babe.
No, Babe's cute and shouldn't be shot.
Wait, that's a boar, not a pig.
Yeah, because inside every cop is a feral pig. That
Okay, he is making a point here, but I'd prefer if he. I mean, this is the, I suppose, just the vibe of the show. Thank you very much for becoming a member, Baldy. Why do criminals rob banks? Because that's where the money is. In the same way, net tax contributors are picked on by cops. Indeed, and that's sort of why you get like the kind of a narco-tyranny type of deal. But yes, no, he's making a good point here.
I hope you brought me a wig.
this is Officer Oinks.
Yeah, going, going.
I wish you would have called him Babe.
No, Babe's cute and shouldn't be shot.
Wait, that's a boar, not a pig.
Yeah, because inside every cop is a feral pig. That is one comment away from putting your head through a wall. What's that, Officer Oinks?
Again, there we go. So this is on the point of discretion. There we go. So now he is flowing through on the discretion point. Let's see if Monsieur Cops is able to handle
Google
that.
domestic violence rates in police. Well, you shouldn't trust what this pig has to say, but I would hope everyone at home Googles that. And here's something else about the police. In the same way that obnoxious people who talk too much are drawn to podcasting, as the three of us can attest.
Everyone up here.
Everyone up here. And in the same way that people who want to prey on children go to where the children are, violent people are going to be drawn to jobs where they're able to use violence without impunity. It's a small percentage, let me be clear, but cops are human beings, and human beings act in certain ways. So if I'm someone who's a sociopath, I'm going to be a politician. If I'm a loudmouth asshole, I'm going to be a podcaster. And if I'm someone who likes to take out his violence on other people legally, I'm going to end up as a cop.
Yes, there we go. So that's the sort of selection effect I was talking about before. Let's see, where would it best be put here? Let's put it in a new place. I mean, technically everything is flowing off of this, but I mean, I'm not going to have everything flowing off of that.
Well, actually, I have a
I think
question.
that personally.
Wait, no, I want to ask this question, though. Michael, would you think it would be better if we used AI robots as cops?
Better in what way?
Like, do you think that would help protect citizens
What is the relevance of this? What, AI robots? Who cares?
more if these were AI robots doing this?
I depend on who would program the AI.
You see
don't think.
Elysium? They were
There's
very
an
mean.
angry
in
That's
that.
what I'm saying. That
fucking-
movie, the AI cops are dickheads.
You're not even allowed to do
Angry Cops
sarcastic
responds
robot
to
voice.
the
They
point
didn't even
you
use
just made.
discretion.
I can't
Yeah,
do that.
see?
I
So,
can't do that.
I don't know.
That dude's on for no reason.
That never happens in real life.
Michael, I have a question.
I don't answer questions from police.
A lot of you said that.
Don't ever do it. I'm not. Here's why. There's two people in America who think words are violence: social justice warriors and cops. If I call Alex the N-word, which I do all the time,
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Where would this best be going? I mean, like, yeah, again, everything flows off of, well, they're so good because they enforce your rights. It's like, well, I mean, they think words are violent, so cops are bad. I mean, again, just looking at the flow, I'm not seeing anywhere where Mr. Cops is actually effectively countering Malice on the flow. Malice seems to be just going right through without much worries here.
And I will again.
I didn't hear it, but I wish I
There's,
did.
Their text messages are bad.
there's plenty of leftists who will tell you that it's appropriate for him to beat me in a coma. Because, hey, you shouldn't be calling black people the N-word. Cops are the only other group where if you say the wrong thing, they feel entitled to knock you into a coma and pat themselves on the back for it.
Anyway, so you said that because the job requires violence, so there's like a level of violence that has to be.
I didn't say that.
What
Again. So now you can just keep bringing back to this point, being like, no, I didn't say that. And look at him putting words in my mouth. Look at him putting words in my mouth. This is why police are dangerous. I mean, again, I think this guy probably should have had a notepad or something with him. But again, I don't think he's taking the debate very seriously at all. I don't think anybody but Malice, and Malice is only somewhat taking it seriously. He's with his like props and stuff. But he's definitely being a whole lot more serious than anybody else.
What did you say? Is it something that cops draw people because it
You
is a
should
job
listen to what I'm
violence?
saying before you try to quote me.
That's why I asked you.
I'm not.
Again. So like the point is not that like require. Like, it's that police are people, right? People are capable of doing bad things, and the police are able to do it with impunity. They're able to be bad with impunity. Again, because of all these points he's bringing up about the unions, about their monopoly, about everything, right? Yeah, I think Malice is winning this.
I'm not answering questions.
Well, you're not very good at debating.
I'm not debating you.
This is a debate, isn't it?
What about a conversation? Can we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we?
Oh, these guys are so funny. I'm just gonna.
Being
Look,
Rockefeller.
here's how cops operate, and he's using another technique.
They're singing, being nice.
They come to interview you. Hey, my partner's crazy. My partner's a madman. I'm the nice one. I'm just trying to help you.
Alex is crazy.
Just answer a few questions.
Good
I'll be on my
comeback.
way. It'll be cool. You answer the few questions. If I go to Tim, I go, hey, Tim, I got to put up a painting in my house. Can I borrow a power tool? Sure. And then I go, oh, by the way, Tim, this power tool, I can and will use this against you. All of a sudden, they go, hey. They tell you explicitly, anything you say can and will be used against you. And here's something else. If you tell a cop something...
Again, this is a very good point. Like you shouldn't be talking to. I like these calls to action. Do not talk to police, and he's bringing it back to, hey, look, they're saying anything you say, I can and will use it against you, and just they're not friendly, so don't pretend that cops are your friends. Again, Malice just keeps knocking it off with all these different points, completely unresponded to.
that would help your side of the story in a lawsuit, in a criminal case, that's hearsay. Oh, he said, but if he doesn't remember something you said or gets a little wrong like he did repeatedly today, all of a sudden it's his word against yours, and now your story doesn't add up, and now you're a liar. And now very quickly...
Yeah, I like that very much. If you say something which can help you, it's hearsay. But if you say something which either you say something incorrect or the police officer misinterprets what you said, suddenly you're in the hot seat. Suddenly it's you got to prove your innocence.
Bad things are going to happen to you as a consequence.
Well, actually,
don't ever talk to the police without an attorney.
Michael has a good point, and I want you to answer this though, Rich, because you know you deal with these interrogations and people you interviews, whatever,
soft words, kind
and you
hands.
give them their Miranda rights, and you know that most people you deal with are retarded and they don't even understand their Miranda rights.
I'm just like you. Yes.
Yeah, I admit that I am retarded. My point.
Like again, why I don't care what Alex Stein's point is. Who cares what Alex Stein's point is? I want to know if Michael Malice has the same point. If Michael Malice has the same point, then he can say it. Let Michael Malice say the point, because Malice said the point that it can and will be used against you. That's a threat. They are not your friends. They're trying to destroy your life. They're trying to get you in prison. Right? That's their job, is to get you in prison. I don't care what Alex Stein's fucking point is.
Point is, you're dealing with people that don't realize that they are incriminating themselves. Michael does have a point in that they actually are afforded a free attorney. And oftentimes I watch the first 48 and you see the dude in there that, double murdered somebody. A couple times you're like, hey, where's my attorney? Where's my attorney? And then the guy will end up still talking because they give him like a Pepsi Coke,
Delicious.
And what I'm saying is,
What brought the world together? Caitlyn Jenner did it.
she did.
Notice how he's changing the subject.
That ended racism. But what I'm talking about, that they don't even understand that they would get a free attorney that would tell them to shut the fuck up. And you still ask them questions. So do you ever feel a little guilty because you are taking advantage of somebody that doesn't realize the situation?
Just because you're dumb doesn't mean that you don't understand the words that I literally read for you. From
I
Dumb
know.
means not understanding things.
But real quick though, you understand that it is a challenging thing. You give them the Miranda rights one time.
The FBI literally uses this tactic to jail people. They will try and make you say something different in an interrogation, and then lock you up for it. One slip up, and you've got a fed crime. Yeah, indeed. I'm absolutely on the side of Malice here, that you should never, ever, ever speak to the police under any circumstances, unless your lawyer tells you to. Alright? Again, in America, well, this beautiful thing called the Fifth Amendment. Circumstances. Alright? Thing called the Fifth Amendment. Okay? You gotta say, I don't want to talk to you. I'm pleading the Fifth Amendment. Get me a lawyer, right? And don't start talking to them again. Don't, oh, well, here's a burger. Do you like the burger? And you say, yeah, I like the burger. That's a new conversation all of a sudden. You gotta re-plead the Fifth Amendment now. Okay? You shut the hell up. You shut the fuck up. Wait till your lawyer comes. Okay? You don't say shit. Because if they can't prove shit. Even if, like, you know, there was this one story. I can't remember. It was like Pot Brothers at Law or whatever. Let's see if I can find it. Oh my god, why? Yeah, here we go.
Mark and Craig, Pop Brothers at Law. It is Shut the Fuck Up Friday, and today we want to concentrate on shutting the fuck up when cops ask questions, learning the script, and never ever consenting to a search unless you're on probation or parole and you have no search and seizure rights. So when those cops ask questions, what do? Shut the fuck up. And never consent. Shut the fuck up. Never consent. Shut the fuck up. And what do you say when the cop first comes up to you?
Why'd you come up to me or why'd you pull me over?
And he starts asking questions.
Not discussing my day or evening, sir.
And he keeps asking questions.
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
Sir, I invoked the Fifth.
And then what do?
I shut the fuck up.
Never consent.
Shut the fuck up.
Never consent.
Shut the fuck up.
Never consent.
Shut the fuck up.
And be kind and courteous to those cops. They have a job to do, but they don't need to stomp on your rights. Know your rights. Shut the fuck up Friday. Tip of the day.
Yeah, I think I was thinking of a different video, but he goes over in a different video. Looks like they got a bunch of those. Where he talks about like some guy at a dispensary where there were two people working in an illegal dispensary, you know, illegal. One of them, when the police, they started talking about, oh no, I just volunteer here. I just, you know, this, that, and the other thing. They got arrested. They got charges filed against them. The other guy, he just shut the hell up. He just didn't say a word. And it's like, well, what the hell can they do? They can't prove what you were doing there. They can't prove that you were working there. Maybe just went in to use the bathroom, right? They can't prove anything, right? Because you shut the fuck up and he didn't get any charges against him. So, yeah, completely agree with Michael Malice here. I like these calls to action that you shut the fuck up, basically. You do not talk to police. They are not your friends. They are trying to hurt you. You got to keep that in your mind every time you're interacting with a police officer. They are trying to ruin your life. Again, just have that rattling around in your head. This police officer is trying to ruin your life.
Sure.
They might not understand the concept that they get a free attorney.
Well, that's why I asked them, do you understand these rights that I've just read to you? And
I
they have to
understand that you asked
respond.
that question, but
and then follow-up question, I have to ask, knowing these rights in mind, having these rights in mind, would you like to talk to me now? I have the card.
Yeah, again, he's kind of like, he's playing off like he's, oh no, I asked them if they understand. I try. He does. It's better for him if they don't understand. He is trying to ruin their life. Again, he is trying to ruin their life. That is his job. You got to think this every time as just a defense mechanism more than anything, because they have the ability to ruin your life for just nothing, and they won't have any consequences. They'll have zero consequences if they ruin your life unjustly. Okay, so you've got to assume that they're going to ruin your life. And if the fucking Gestapo kicks in your door, right, you have to assume they're trying to ruin your life. Maybe they're good guys, you know, but you can't assume that. Like, his job is to violate rights. That is his job. His job is to violate your rights, okay?
I know that.
Hold on, just in case y'all forgot.
but you know that you are asking questions to a person. It doesn't even matter if you sat there for 10 minutes and lectured them on what legal rights they had. They still would not understand what it is because some people have a 70 IQ. Do you ever feel guilty?
Baldy, thank you for the $8 Australian. They're trying to ruin your life, especially the friendly ones. Yeah, it's like this psychopathic thing, you know. If there's it's always like the super creepy psychopaths are the ones who's like, hey, I'm just your friend, you know. It's like, whoa, okay. But then, you know, if they're like just actual rabid animals, it's like, okay, I know what you are. You're not trying to pretend you're, you know. I'm not getting like uncanny valley vibes from you. But with police officers, it's like uncanny valley. How's Nick's going for you, Zulu? It's pretty good. I've been using it since my Arco got bricked. Yeah, I mean, I've just stuck with Nix because now I've got all my dot files in one config, so I can just rebuild from that whenever I need to.
For them basically not taking advantage of their legal rights, like, free attorney.
So the amount of people that I've questioned that I've read their Miranda rights to, which start off with, you have the right to remain silent. If you don't understand that, or if you but there's a difference here. Everybody's talking about, like, are you smart enough to understand it? If I say you have the right to remain silent, and then I continue to question you, and
again, none of this has anything to do with the fucking debate, because this is Alex Stein's side debate. This is not a point. Again, this is not the point that Michael Malice brought up. Michael Malice's point was that cannon will be used against you. That is a threat. They're not being your friends, okay? You can't treat them like your friends. That was Michael Malice's point. Not, well, what if somebody doesn't understand? Like, this is not relevant. Oh my God, yeah, jokes. Let's have more jokes. Let's get back into the fucking debate.
No. I got one thing. Notice he's not even pretending that he's going to help the person. I'm not a psychologist. We've all talked to people.
who am I helping?
We've all talked to people. No one. That's the point.
The victim?
We've all talked to people.
Maybe the victim.
Someone who's innocent until proven guilty. Somebody's questioning. We've all talked to people. You explain something to them. You realize, okay, this person's nobody what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's happened to him repeatedly. But he knows, as long as he's got the assent, just like when you check up the terms of service on some website or thing, his hands are clean, and he can go and pursue the arrest conviction.
So you finished that the Miranda rights with. Do you want to talk to me? Yes or no?
Correct.
Whether the person answers yes or no indicates. We're getting feedback. Indicates some understanding. And it sounds like what you're asking, Alex, do you ever feel guilty because maybe they actually don't? What if the person wants to talk to the cops and they accidentally say no because they don't?
God, again, who cares? Who cares about fucking retarded people? They might want to talk to the cops or they might not want to talk. Who cares? Sidetrack.
There may be some people who want to explain to the police.
Oh my God. Oh, hold on. What the heck's going
I
on?
didn't follow the question either.
Okay.
My friends.
Now we're finally friends.
Don't touch me. That's assault.
Not
Okay.
so I'm not doing anything.
Let me just ask you my.
Michael Malice is so fucking pissed. Yeah. It would be funny if he actually did touch him and then there was like fucking actual charges came from that. That would be very hilarious.
Notice, I'm not even kidding at all.
But before,
I'm going to say this point. Notice how comfortable a cop is getting in your face. And my point earlier is, I'm not
see your backside,
I'm
sir.
I'm not sure. You can laugh. You should laugh right now because that's obviously humorous. Now imagine what happens when there's no cameras and there's no witnesses and he's in a bad mood. All of a sudden, he's going to be very happy to remind you who your place in life and who you should be talking to with the polite mouth boy.
So before we go down, I do want to ask.
Yeah. I think this is recapitulating other points in the flow. Which, by the way, it looks like right at the start he seemed to be, Mr. Kopp seemed to be interested in actually responding to some of these points. And now he seems to be just not responding to anything Michael Malice is saying. I mean, he's responding to fucking shit like Alex Stein and Tim Pool are saying. He's not responding to anything Michael Malice is saying. What the, who is this debate between?
What would we have if there were no police?
Well, we need security. So this idea
Like security, like the people that try to get me to stop skating some ledge at the front of a building and they're fucking dickheads.
Yeah, they suck.
yeah, specifically those people.
I like that from Malice. Indeed, yeah. Like what? Oh, security, like the blah, 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 blah. Yes, that. Just swat him away because it's who cares? Who cares what he fucking is saying? Okay, Michael Malice is trying to make a point here. Let him make the fucking point.
Only we want to clone them. Great contribution. Security is
Exactly, great contribution. Like he's not contributing anything to the discussion here. Like why is he here? Why aren't any of these people here? Michael Malice versus Angry Cops. Maybe one moderator. Can I DM you a specific example? It didn't go through in the chat for some reason. Sure. Let me. Oh, I should turn on emo mode. They did this with George Papadopoulos, with that FBI conspiracy against Trump working with Russia. They couldn't prove anything, so they jailed Papadopoulos for lying to the FBI. That is very is very funny. Just because again, there's all these like just random extra charges they can just cinch you on. It's always bullshit. Yeah, thank you very much for the 200 rupees, man. Also, it is very hard for someone to understand the concept of rights in a stressful situation with one reading, even if you're smart, especially because these people are acting like they're your friend. Yeah, indeed. Like, most people don't even have a fucking theory of rights. Like, what the hell are they gonna, how the hell are they gonna understand anything, right? If you're like shouting in their face and you've just like tackled them to the ground, it's like, do you understand these rights? Jesus,
Fucking dickheads.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, specifically those people. Only them. We want to clone them. Great contribution.
If they can't prove the crime they first accuse you of, they will find anything to fuck you over with. Yeah.
Security is an extremely important thing. These movements that you see in these big cities to defund the police are, to me, insane because they're defunding them to a point, but they're keeping them in place to make sure people can't protect themselves. So
Yeah, again, this is the narco-tyranny point. Yeah, so this is against the defund the police movements that you often see, where they want to defund them to a point, but keep them around so that they can't protect you, or rather that they'll prevent you from protecting yourself.
So you have the police taking out Kyle Rittenhouse, you have them taking out Daniel Penny, but everybody else is rendered helpless and defenseless. So security is far too important of a job to be left to monopoly, let alone a government monopoly. We need police accountability and we need private security to increase. But as it is now, there is no accountability. And the people who are if you're in New York, one of the reasons I moved to Austin, thank God I did, is because I knew if someone broke into my house and I have pretty cool shit, and I tried to defend myself, especially with a firearm, it's far more likely that the law would fall upon me than upon the guy breaking into my house. We see this over and over. And those laws are enforced and only enforced by the police.
So, fuck, no, come on, no.
What the hell is he even going to say to that? Like, that's entirely true. Like, those laws are enforced. Like, does he think there's like some fucking, like, the military does it or something? Like, who does he think enforces it?
Those laws are enforced by the district attorney's office.
Oh, no, they're not enforced. Yeah, I mean, yes, the district attorney, whatnot, they're going to be the ones prosecuting you when it goes to trial. But who's the person who comes in with, like, the big fucking batons and the guns and is going to tackle you to the ground and throw you in a cage? Those are the ones, they're all enforcing it. Everybody involved in the system. Both the mob boss and his goon, who he sends off to hit someone, right? Both of them were responsible for that murder. The whole thing, you can't just say, well, I was just following orders. Like, who enforced the Nazi edicts against the Jews? Well, it was the fucking SS, right? Or whatever. I don't know if the SS were the same ones. I guess they have different military divisions. But it was the fucking... It was the German police were rounding up Jews, the German soldiers were rounding up Jews, and the prison guards were pulling that lever, right? It wasn't just Hitler. Hitler is indeed responsible for all that, but so is everybody else who took part in it, okay?
Office and the politicians that you elect. It's not my fault that you decided to live in a shitty city with bad rules that I choose to ignore because I believe in the Second Amendment.
Okay, so it's not your fault that you chose to live in a city with shitty rules. It's like, why are we invoking choice here? This is the kind of nefarious thing that statists do. Where it's like, oh, suddenly we care about choice. Suddenly we care about, well, you chose to live here, so you agreed to it all. It's like, well, you didn't care about choice when you're fucking setting up the system. It doesn't matter about choice. You've got these certain duties, okay? We're gonna do this. It was never about consent. You never asked for fucking consent, okay? Right? Even if we take the U.S. law as it's written, guess what the Second Amendment says? It says, shall not be infringed. Okay, that is every single police officer violates the Constitution. Every single one of them, okay? Like, I do not believe for one fucking second that if Mr. Cops, with a gang of his fucking SWAT team or whatever, busted down some door, and there was a warehouse in the middle of Manhattan where they had a bunch of, like, fucking, ARs and, like, saws and shit, strewn everywhere, and they had like millions of pounds of ammunition and like rocket launchers and shit. I don't believe for 1 second that he would go, well, boys, let's turn the other cheek. Let's get out of here, fellas. Like, no, he'd taken part in arresting them. Let's be real here.
Amendment.
Okay, cool.
You chose
But that's the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says I'm allowed to have that fucking warehouse, okay?
to live in a state that says, here are the guidelines. And then you go, it's the cop's fault that they put handcuffs on me. Not at all for the fact that there's a judge, a jury, a district attorney, a state senator, and a governor
Yes, they're all at fault as well.
that are all against you, not the cops.
Okay.
Just because we collect you doesn't mean we're responsible for the end result.
So if I hire Tim to kill Alex, which one of us has committed a crime?
Both of you.
Right, thank you. So just because an evil person tells you to do something and you follow their orders, you're both committing wrongdoing. And I want to ask...
There we go. I should actually add this to the flow. Please take orders from sociopaths to put it here. Actually, I've surely got a section about like bad laws. Mask. Yeah. Police do follow bad orders they shouldn't follow. Okay. Police aren't enforcing. There we go. Boom. Okay. So again, I'm not seeing the blowout. I mean, we're half an hour into this, so I suppose maybe the blowout happens later. But I'm not seeing the big blowout victory for angry cops here. I'm really not.
Ask the people in this audience, how much...
Like, I mean, I want to see these people who are claiming that there's some big blowout victory for angry cops. I want to see them do the same exercise. Just literally go through and note down point, counterpoint, okay, and see who flows through. I'm not seeing any place. I'm seeing 0 places where Mr. Cops is actually flowing through, unless I suppose you count, maybe if you count the little side debates, the little joke debates that they're having. And I'm counting the debate between angry cops and Michael Malice. That's what I'm counting. That's what I'm tabulating.
money... How many people here lost a loved one during COVID? Anyone? No.
Me.
Okay. How many people couldn't visit their old folks during COVID?
How many people couldn't go to church during COVID?
Right.
There we go.
No.
How much money would Joe Biden have to pay you to arrest someone for trying to go to church? He would...
Agreed. Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, let's
How much
wait,
money... No. How much money would Officer Kamala Harris have to pay you to arrest someone for having a funeral?
Fuck Kamala Harris. All right.
Thank you. Wait, no. I'm going to finish my point. We've all said earlier that cops are human beings, but in one capacity they're not. Because what separates humans from non-human animals is our conscience. And when you become a cop, you give yours away. You say, I am going to do what the sociopaths tell me. And if they tell me to shut down that lemonade stand and make that little girl cry, I'm not going to lose an ounce of sleep over it.
One quick
Okay, there we go. How much money would the police have to pay you? To take orders from sociopaths. These are people. Here we go. So there we go. So now I don't want. I see Tim Pool's hands up. This is a fucking like horror movie. You see the monster coming in. Tim Pool's hands coming up. So I'm very worried that he's about to butt in here with some irrelevant bullshit. I want Mr. Angry Cops to be forced to respond to this point. Force of the law. Okay, I want him to be forced by this venue to respond to this point that, in one respect, police are evil. It's similar to the selection bias point, right? Because they have agreed to be paid by sociopaths to violate your rights. So, in what sense is this the proper justification of police? I want angry cops to respond to this point. I don't want, the hands up. I don't want the hand up. I want that hand to slink back down again.
quick question for Rich before we go to the audience.
Quick, before we go to the audience, like, what the fuck? Half an hour in.
The police officers who unconstitutionally shut down churches in New York, should they be arrested for that?
They should be charged.
All right, you're here.
Well, okay. Hold on. Let's bring this up. Mr. Kopp said this. First of all, by what standard is he like a natural law theorist now? By what standard is he saying this? Because he was saying like, "Well, it's your fault for going for these politicians. It's your fault for living in these places. It's your fault for agreeing to all. It's your fault. It's not the police. It's everybody's fault but the police." And now he's saying that it is in fact the police's fault. So, if we go back up here, police aren't enforcing these bad laws. I suppose I can't really include this in the flow because Malice hasn't made that point. But just so you all know, he threw that point out because he's now said again that, well, yes, those police are indeed violating your rights. So then he's agreeing. Saying this is agreeing with the point. So this is in fact a concession. So, like, is he agreeing, or is he trying to use this as an argument? I don't think he's trying to use this as an argument against him. So I think it's correct to note this as a concession here. So again, where is Angry Cops winning in this debate? I don't understand. Where is he winning?
Being gay. All right, let's get into the show, Tim. You ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready?
Why is that audience so okay? So if that's the end of the debate, and now we're into like a Q&A portion. Let's just look over this. Maybe I'm missing something here. But can anybody see any single point where Angry Cops actually flows through? I don't see a single point of contention where Angry Cops flows through. I don't see one. Like, where is he? How are people like this delusional? Do people just not understand how debates work or something? Or I guess again, it's the fucking clapter of debate. Well, he got all the laughs, he got all the cheers, and Michael Malice got all the boos. Michael Malice was being real mean, so therefore Angry Cops wins the debate. It's like, no, that's not how fucking debate works. Thank you very much for the 100 rupees again, man. One thing I really like about Malice is that he does stand up for himself and doesn't let himself be interrupted. Very good skill to have in discussion. Yeah, very good, especially in a debate where you got all these fucking like jokesters who want to butt in and get their own little clips off. Yeah, you can't let the jokesters get in the way, I suppose.
Ready for this? Let's get the energy going. Okay, so
Admetos for $10 Australian. Thank you very much. I was disappointed that Malice didn't hammer home more on the point about Angry Cops bringing up natural law but still agreeing with state law. Also, he's doing that argument from intimidation. Yeah, indeed. I do agree that, again, I don't know, Malice did get off a lot of good points here, so maybe he just didn't have enough necessarily real estate to maneuver into that argument. But yeah, I think that would be a good place to really hone in on that. Like, well, what standard are you using for your discretion? Why should the police be arrested for arresting people for violating lockdowns? Why is that? And yeah, Angry Cops is indeed doing the argument from intimidation. It's like, what? How could you believe this? Malice didn't stand up for himself properly. He complained like a victim instead of smashing them down with more pathos. Yeah, I think he could have been a little bit more grandstandy. I do think his like big idea in this debate was just kind of get off his like calls to action, you know, really like try and get the audience to realize how they should deal with police. Malice kept the debate more on cops not being your friends, and you shouldn't trust them rather than debate on ethics. Yeah, that is true.
what we're going to do is we're going to call out a name. You guys walk your ass and hurry your ass because we got to have a hard out at 5 p.m. And remember to tip your damn waitress. DC's expensive.
Or waiter,
whatever. And that's cool if you're gay or trans. We tip them extra.
Another good Malice debate for you to react to is appearance on the PBD podcast. I'll give out a mental note.
Tip them extra, just to be extra nice.
Give them a tip. They lost
But
theirs.
get your ass over here in this corner. We're going to give you a minute. Oh.
And real quick, I believe there may be another autographed mustard floating around somewhere. And if you
There is indeed,
I don't
Tim.
care about fucking autographed mustards or any of this.
That side of stage. I don't see him. I see you're moving slow, Walt. Let's go.
Find the one
over here, over here.
Get the lead out of your ass and let's move.
This way, right over here. See me? Big flashy white kid in the white stuff. Hey,
In the right stage.
Stop putting your hand
Open
like
the door
that.
hole.
Malice had a whole list of victims that the audience agrees were innocent, and he didn't use their memory as leverage to shame these jokes by connecting them back to reality. He did do that a little bit. Like, he brought up, I believe, like, you know, all the people who were violating lockdowns. He brought up, like, Jordan Neely. He brought up, what was the other one? Neely. He brought up Eric Garner. He brought up, what was it? Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, I think he did bring up a few of them. Maybe he could have hammered it in more so. I'm not sure what exactly your point is.
Hurry! Don't be shy.
Bro, you got 1 minute.
First of all, I'm gonna go.
All right, hold on. All right, so I had an interaction with the cops today.
It's my fault.
No, it's not your fault. But I just got to look at this, this generation of cops. They are young as fuck.
Yep.
And I guess it's because I'm getting older, right?
Yeah.
And so I just, the EMTs that even showed up, they looked like they were 15, 16. I'm like, what?
Yeah, why do we care about his fucking, like, oh my god, guys, guess what I did today? Like, who cares? What is the question?
Look like big burly men. They're not like you. They're not like Tim. They're not like Alex Stein, who looks. Are you on Ozempic?
No,
And then,
it's no. Okay.
So, cancer. How dare you?
like you skinny. Look, I didn't expect to be up here, so I'm a little nervous. All right, cameras in
You're
my face.
scared.
Do you like
No, I'm not scared.
Can you smile so we can see you?
Yeah, we can actually come on. Okay, that's been your 1 minute. I don't know. So this
But anyway, my point, I guess my question is how do you see the future of policing if we're just allowing
Bitches on the job.
pretty much?
Okay, I don't really care about that question.
He said, I don't want cops to be big burly.
There we go.
Does that make sense?
So notice how easily
Okay, that's
Yeah, if nobody respects you, then everything else. But the thing is, in reality, you have to. You know, so I'm. Michael doesn't want big, strong men that could commit violence.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Again, I don't see anywhere on the flow where Michael says he doesn't want big, strong men who can commit violence. He says he doesn't want a monopolist with impunity to commit violence against people. That's what he said. He didn't say anything about how strong he wants them to be.
So I'm gonna
notice
go
he
with
put words in my mouth. I never said that
5'4"
one
big
applied.
Latinas because we know they can scrap. Somebody doesn't want to deport them, and I'm behind that movement.
Thank you.
But the thing is, in reality, you have to, and this is going to sound super cliche and shitty. You have to bridge the gap between community and police.
Also, isn't it kind of funny? He's running the same gambit that you see all the neoprags making, where it's like, well, in reality, you gotta, like, this is the thing with which every fucking pragmatist does. It's like, well, we gotta really knuckle down and live in reality. We can't be occupied with theory too much, right? You gotta drill down what exactly they mean by that, because I'll tell you the philosophy they're basing it on. They're basing it upon the philosophy of pragmatism, right? What does this philosophy say? It says the true is that which works. What does it mean to work? Well, it achieves your goals. What holds a goal? A goal is held by a consciousness. So the true is that which satisfies the desires of a consciousness. It's the primacy of consciousness right down to the core. That is what pragmatism means. Now, these like man on the street advocates of pragmatism, they don't understand this. They don't realize this, but that is the philosophy that they're rooted in. And you see it with, that's why they're so divergent from reality in so many areas.
Right? If you don't, then nobody's going to respect you. And if you don't bridge that gap, if nobody respects you, then every time you show up, they're going to disrespect you, get in a fight with you, push the boundaries until they're resisting, or a fantastic partner has to show larger authority.
Easily he lied.
Does that make sense?
So notice how
So you agree that Malice lost the debate because having only flow is something you can do in articles or video essays. A debate about pathos is about speaking for the dead. It's also, I mean, if you just care about literally winning or losing a debate, it's not about did you get the audience on your side. That is important, sure, if you're doing like praxis, but just literally by the point, but by the line by line, Michael Malice did indeed win the debate. Like, he flowed through on every point of contention. Angry Cops didn't get a single point through in the flow. So just by the numbers, Michael Malice did win.
easily he lied about my views and put words in my mouth. He said, I don't want cops to be big burly guys. I said that the police, that's not what I said. I said the police as a career attracts violent people and it's a small percentage. I said those words or words to that effect. At no point did I say it's preferable for the police to be small people. And again, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you think about any of us on this panel. What I care about is when you talk to the police, they will easily twist your words without any guilt whatsoever or any kind of consequences or apology. And you're the one who will be ending up paying the price.
Man, I disagree.
That's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Let Jason. Well, Jason, what do you got for us? What do you think?
I look like an asshole. I look like a criminal. Usually when I talk to him, like when I'm calm and I'm not like.
I mean, yeah, it's like, who cares about disagreeing? Like, Malice just showed live on stage that it's possible for them to misinterpret your words, put words in your mouth, and they have the impunity to destroy your life if they want to. So it's like, well, I've had good interaction with the police. That doesn't refute the point. Evangelion enthusiast, thank you for the $5. When a prank says I'm living in reality, they mean they are viewing reality from their whims without an objective standard of evaluation. Indeed, yeah.
Like doing anything illegal, and I go, hey man, I get it. I look like this, but I'm not doing anything bad. They're very nice to me.
I'm sure. I'm not doubting.
Have I bumped into an asshole cop? Yeah, but that's like you're trying to say that cops wanted that job so they can be pricks. There's pricks all over the place that aren't police.
He didn't say that cops want that job in order to be pricks. He said that there's a selection bias involved, that the people who want to commit violence with impunity are drawn to a career that lets you do that.
That's
There's
true.
a bunch of people that have
That's
bad days and they act like assholes.
Absolutely.
There's also cops. I've been smoking weed in Australia where it was completely illegal, and they were like, you're harmless, off you go. They could have fucked my whole life right there.
Okay,
They didn't.
harmless. Jesus, that was
And that's the point. They could have fucked your whole life right there. That's a problem.
a dumb cop.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I changed my mind. You're right. Fucking jerk off.
first of all, you're one data point, and you're absolutely correct.
How dare you be that data point and not a person? Good call, cop.
Point being, every field, you're absolutely correct, have people who are assholes, beauty queens, politicians, teachers, barbers, everything, anyone count out. It is only the police, when someone is an asshole, that they have the legal right and discretion to, if you're giving them an attitude, throwing them back in their cop car and fuck your shit up for a very long time. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's clarify that. They actually don't, but the argument is they have connections and
What do you mean? They can get you for resisting, they can get you for disorderly conduct.
right. My point is, to the letter of the law, they can't legally do that. You're saying that the lie and break the law to get away with it.
A lot of those things are in the opinion of the officer. And he will
Let me just, can you, for any reason, because you're angry, make up charges
No,
against
you got to
somebody?
make up a charge, yeah.
Can you make up charges against somebody?
No.
That's what happens.
But cops do lie.
Okay.
Cops lie.
And that's illegal to falsely
and
charge
it is
them.
illegal to lie, and there are repercussions for those people that do.
But the argument, Michael, is that you're saying they get away with it.
Okay, but now he's just trying to run back up the flow, saying there's repercussions. But again, Malice has established that, like, no, he's already got this point. So like, you can't just recapitulate. You can't just restate your thesis that, well, there'll be repercussions, because he's already said that, well, we need the unions to help them, to protect them from these repercussions. Like fucking mouse, like.
Which I don't disagree with.
Yes. Here's
Not
something
that they have
else.
legal right to do it.
Assume everything I'm saying is not true. What I would encourage people to do, as I've done, is watch a lot of police body cam footage.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And I'm not
sounds
finished.
great.
It's going to make you appreciate what the cops have to do a lot more. Because if you're calling the cops, you're not calling the cops because things are nice. It's not like, oh, hey, officer, we're having a birthday party. Would you like a piece of cake, please? Right? Here's the thing. If your day, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, is dealing with shitty people doing shitty stuff, it does a number on you. Because what? Cops are what? Human beings. I had a friend, Jim Moore. He was a sheriff in rural Illinois. Great guy. And part of his gig before he was a sheriff was investigating child abuse.
Oh, me too.
I never asked him for details because I didn't want to know. I don't think anyone in this room wants to know. The kinds of things people do to their own kids, let alone foster kids, is unimaginable. And after a while, he quit. And do you know why he quit? Because it got to him. How could it not get to you? You do that kind of stuff inside and out, you're going to look at people in a whole different way. And that's what happens. It's not even their fault. You show up like this young guy on the force and you're trying to help your community. After a while, people yell at you. You see these police body cam where someone's like literally a shooter. The cops try to take him down and he's swarmed in the ghetto and they feel very unsafe. And you don't blame them for feeling very unsafe. My point is, after a while, this hardens you, right? And if you have that interaction with that hardened cop who's having a bad day, you're the one who's going to be paying the price for it. And it's not even his fault.
That's another good direction to take this in, which is like, hey, you know, they're going to have like this trauma, they're going to have this psychological toll on them. So it doesn't even matter if they're like evil. You're going to be the one who they take it out on. Let's see. I mean, yeah, like, obviously if you're like, every day, you're like, you know, however long, like, you know, 8-hour day or whatever it is, more if they're doing like, you know, a lot of overtime, just constantly amped up on adrenaline, constantly getting all these hormones, and then like, you know, just a massive like crash after they get home, and then fucking doing that constantly. If you're doing that every day, just fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna fuck you up pretty bad.
Let me ask you this, Rich. I think it might have been Donut Operator who told the story. I could be wrong. Where they had just gotten a call about a child that was killed in a car accident, a baby.
That was Cody, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, he has to go deal with some angry woman who's bitching at him.
A Karen.
And they don't understand what he just witnessed and experienced.
Right.
And it's like torturous.
It's difficult. Yeah, they're like, I'm not going to lie. Like, the job comes with risks that are involved. It doesn't mean that you deserve those risks, but it means that there's risks that are involved. I currently get mental health from a psychiatrist because I need it. Because I'm an SVU detective, so I deal with crimes against children, domestic abuse, sexual assault.
No
et cetera.
human can handle it on their own.
Correct.
It's not possible.
They need help. And yeah, it is difficult. But at the same time, I haven't had the spillover that other police officers have, so it's hard for me to connect with that.
Would you know it if you had?
What's that?
Would you know it if you had?
Yes, because you know what? You're right. I did have spillover. And I had good officers that were next to me that pulled me aside and said, "You need to sit down. You need to cool off." And there are laws right now in New York State. I forget what law it's called.
Then it's like, okay, well, so then his argument would be, let's just see this. It'd be up here. Police do good. Police do good because okay, so this requires. Yeah, he just admitted he wouldn't know it. Indeed, yeah, others had to tell him. But then this requires there being those good cops there, right, to actually do this. But as Michael Malice has shown, cops are people. They're taking orders from sociopaths. They're doing all these bad things. So I think Malice can very easily respond to this point.
Called where it is an officer's duty to intervene if another officer is doing excessive force in their eyes.
Yeah, but there's also a duty in the military if people have to do that. Then you have the My Lai massacre.
Yeah,
so
okay.
just because something's on paper, and I'm sure that happens sometimes. I'm sure there's a lot of times because you trust your partner, people trust their partners. If you see your partner being out of control, and you're like, oh shit, thanks for checking me. Like, and that person will be grateful. But there's plenty of other times when you and your partner, it's you two against the world, and someone who's from a certain socioeconomic class is giving you lip, and you're not having it that day. And I don't know that I would do differently in that position.
Okay, and then indeed, and the broader point would be that, like, how do you actually start selecting for these good cops? Indeed, it is a lot of the time. Let me just put this up, where it's you and your partner against the world, and how do you actually efficiently select for that? How do you make sure that you aren't having a lot of these instances where it is the two partners and they're gonna do whatever it takes, right? Well, the way you do it is you have market mechanisms, and so they don't have the power to ruin your life. Then there's no issue.
I'm not pretending otherwise.
Let's get some more people.
All right, let's get some more people. Now, this name, what is this? Alex, Alabama? What is this? Alex, ALA? Alex Alaburn? Alex, hurry up. Let's go. Oh, I like this guy. Let's go, Alex. You're going to have 1 minute. As soon as you start talking, we're going to start the timer.
These are always so much fun. Can you have a 5-minute speech first, too?
No. If you're against police, do you think individuals should be trained in public? Sorry. If you're against police, do you think individuals should be trained in public schools to de-escalate, shoot, fight hand-to-hand combat, handle crime scenes evidence, large-scale criminal organizations?
Of course, my response for this would be there shouldn't be public schools. If people want to learn those types of things, then that's their prerogative. You should have a market for it, right? It's the same thing like how many shoes should be produced in the economy. Well, however many the market wants, right? However many the market demands. How many people should be trained in those things? Well, what does the market demand?
I think there's a lot of young men in this audience and elsewhere who would be great assets to their community, and if they were more encouraged to be de-escalating, and like if you see in a bar, right, there's two guys getting in a fight. Very quickly, most of the time, people jump in, strangers, and separate them. In this country, I can't speak for other countries, there's a huge motive and part of our culture that we help each other out, we try to de-escalate violence, and we try to prevent violence. What happens when you have...
What are you talking about? Have you seen the videos from Cincinnati?
Have people not seen this? Have people never seen like someone getting in a fight and then people break them up? Like that's an actual thing. Like am I crazy?
People just pull their phones out and film it. They don't help shit. Yep.
In certain cultures, yes. That's
Hashtag
true.
I don't want to be sued.
There's lots of other... in DC, I'm not... Okay, DC's fair. DC's very different. Sorry, Texas has spoiled me. In certain parts of this country, thank you for the correction. In certain parts of the country, it is very much the case that people are neighborly. If there's a problem in the neighborhood, people try to get together and solve it. That is very much discouraged. And just like charity is very much discouraged, because you have the...
Yeah, and he's correct here, that you get less of that to whatever degree you have policing. Because, if I get involved in that fight, and try and... even if I'm trying to break it up, police might just see, oh, there's a fight over there. Let's get them, boys. And then they grab me, and then, I'm in trouble suddenly.
the government to rely on that puts less and less responsibility for individuals to fix this. And a great example of this is, again, Daniel Penny, or Perry, I forget his name, I'm sorry.
Both, actually.
Right, what is both?
There's two. One, Penny was in New York and Perry was in Austin. Perry was the guy who...
Oh, no, in New York,
Yeah,
Daniel Penny.
Right. But Perry was the guy where the guy at the protest showed up with a rifle at low ready.
I just like
how
how
he
you-
shot to defend himself. They arrested and charged him.
So I would love it if not only were more people incentivized and have that sense of no one's coming to help me, because when crime is seconds away, the cops are minutes away. And one of the great things about living in Austin is knowing that I sleep with a piece under my bed and one in my office, and if someone comes into my house, I'm not going to have to live in fear.
Except Daniel Perry was in his car driving when a mob approached his vehicle. One guy had an AK, low ready, raised up, and we saw the gun rising, being raised. He shot him, and he got charged.
Okay.
And then he got convicted, and then had to get a pardon from the governor.
I'm glad he got pardoned.
Indeed, but that's still Texas.
Sure. Austin is a little bit of an outlier, but
Yeah, but, I mean, and, like, that's still Texas. And Michael Malice isn't arguing for the Texas system. What the fuck are you doing here, bro? Michael Malice isn't arguing for the Texas system. He's arguing for the abolition of police. That wouldn't happen under Michael Malice's, what Michael Malice is saying. Like, he can't get arrested and charged for that. If it's what Malice is saying, where you want, like, the community, actual community standing up for themselves, having private security, doing all this type of thing. And, like, this is just total, like, fucking argument from intimidation bullshit. Like, again, somebody mentioned it earlier, where it's just like, you can't really believe this stuff. Like, like fucking jokester. Like, what are you doing? This is a serious debate. And by the way, Mr. Angry Cops, you've lost this debate. So you can't be acting like, you can't be acting like that after losing the debate. Thank you very much for the 100 rupees, man. These people don't go outside and base their worldview. These people don't go outside. They base their worldview on selected outrage bait on the internet. Big problem with a lot of conservative types. Indeed.
the point is, I'm not in favor of that verdict. I'm saying that's the kind of thing that should be encouraged more of.
Here's what I want to say. Let's call some real quick. I want to address this in that it seems like the real issue is not police at all. It's cultural fragmentation. Well, if you have
what do you mean fragmentation?
If you have a village of 100 people,
sure,
and they all say Rich is going to be our cop, we trust him and we like this guy. When he stops somebody, he knows that he's got fear of being shunned or ostracized for acting out of line.
Yes,
and so the problem we have now is in these very large.
Yeah, and Malice's point is, yeah, he wants it to be more like that, where it's actually, voluntary, where people say, I want this guy to protect my rights. And Angry Cops acting this way is enabled by Malice not clapping his ass cheeks after rolling his eyes like that. He should express the outrage, perhaps, yeah. I mean, I don't know necessarily. Again, this is the problem with having all this chaff in the way. I would like if Michael Malice, it was literally Michael Malice versus Angry Cops.
Cities of millions of people, the cops are like, don't know you, don't care, I'm done with you.
Well, this is actually something that they try to fight, because for a long time you'd have white cops in black neighborhoods, and this naturally had some kind of antagonism. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, guy. Look, lay down the law over there. Law.
But,
Get it.
All right, let's call the next person.
That's my point. But the point is, so there was a movement from police districts to recruit people from those neighborhoods, and I think that's a very commendable situation. And it's always better when there is this kind of semblance of people knowing each other, because that de-escalates things immediately. If you and I got in a fight, as opposed to me or you getting in a fight with a stranger, it's very different.
Yeah. All right, our next person coming up, Taylor Lorenz's ex-wife. Come on down. Hurry up, Taylor Lorenz's ex-wife. Hurry up. Our therapy. All right,
Mortal Kombat.
No, looks like that an Assassin's Creed get up?
I can't see anything with these glasses.
I think that's the point.
All right, what do you got? For us? Come on.
Hang on.
Into the mic. Let's go.
We're getting there. We're unlocking the phone.
Unlocking the phone.
First off, y'all are a bunch of animals. You're putting everyone's life at risk by not wearing a mask. COVID-19 is very serious.
Thanks for trolling me.
Don't interrupt. Let Taylor Lorenz go.
Okay, regarding William McNeil, I've seen both videos. I believe the headlights not being on is a bullshit charge, so this may have been a DWB, but I believe he also had a suspended license, and they...
William McNeil, I'm not familiar with that one, so I suppose we could just skip. See. Swedish Ninja, thank you for the $5. Malice had a debate with Alex Jones regarding top cops on Tim's show a while back, and somehow Jones had better responses than these goons. Yeah, if I can imagine. This has not been good so far.
We're on the same page.
Okay,
what are the likelihood they will get charges?
What's that?
What's the likelihood they will get charged?
And I'm going to be honest with you, because you've been honest with me so far. Because it's on camera, pretty good.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because it's on camera, pretty good.
Fuck yeah,
right?
kumbaya, motherfuckers.
Because it's not. If it wasn't on camera, there would be more of a difficulty of a burden of proof. But also, because of your distrust of police, something that's happened, I think, in the positivity that people thought was going to be a bad thing, is that more and more officers are getting body cams.
That's right.
And I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but I feel that since more and more body cams have come out, you've actually seen that police are more correct and honest in their police report taking and arrests than dishonest, like astronomical.
So I want to Is she still talking? Okay. I want to agree with you and add something else. I think the percent of cops that people regard as corrupt is far lower in reality than people have claimed. The corrupt ones are not the ones getting bribed on the take. That's not a significant issue. It's the good cops that are the problem. Because they're the ones who will smile and nod and follow orders from politicians and do whatever they're told. And I'll give you a very easy example. Cops are what?
Okay. Human.
Okay, let me finish.
Michael, we need
I'm
to
gonna-
include the audience a little bit. You're just talking the whole time.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I mean, this is much more. Much rather hear Michael Malice and Angry Cops talk than the audience. Have you watched his video on? By the way, thank you for the 10 pounds, Annie. Have you watched his video on anarchism? Has a very odd conclusion, including the German dictator. I mean, I haven't watched that video. I saw him live when he was debating Praxben, though.
No, I'm just saying. Every time we make a point, should we have some people interactive and get them involved?
No, I just want to. I didn't come up here
like an officer of the law.
I didn't come up here to listen to randos. I'm sorry, and that includes,
Well, that's part
that
of the
includes you,
show.
Alex. Well, I wasn't told this.
No, oh, okay.
I'm just going to say one more thing.
No, I want to say, Michael, you sound, when you say, I'm not going to answer your questions and I want to hear from other people, this is like an unreasonable position.
How is this how is it unreasonable for Michael Malice to want to respond to a point addressed to Michael Malice? That seems entirely reasonable to me. Well, how is this unreasonable? Why isn't it? Why do we have all these extra people getting involved in this debate? Why can't it just be a debate between, I don't know, perhaps Angry Cops and Michael Malice? Why can't that happen?
Okay, can I make my point?
Yes.
Thank you. If you went back to 20, I'm not here to be reasonable. If you went, I don't have to be reasonable. I got a badge. If you went back to 2019 and asked doctors, hey, would you ever give a medication to every single one of your patients, even for a disease that they can't really get? I'd never do that. Hippocratic oath. Are you crazy? That's insane. Then COVID happened, and there were some who didn't, but they all bent the knee because doctors and like cops are human beings. So they will always bend the knee to those in power that means their job.
I'm starting to hate human beings. Yeah, I know.
I don't blame you.
Cops are human beings.
What the fuck
Because
is-
doctors know their job.
This is again, you can't act like this after losing the goddamn debate.
I hate human beings. Yeah, I know.
I don't blame you.
Cops are human beings.
Hey guys,
All right,
real
next
quick.
up.
I did have a part 2 to that.
God.
I didn't really get it all out.
God, I didn't even know you're still here, Taylor Ransom. You scared me. I'm scared to
It's
death.
just like when I call in, I don't shut up. All right. Okay. So, what can we do to get it to be normalized for police departments to drop the body cam footage sooner and faster, especially when a viral encounter like William McNeil takes place?
All right, go sit down.
It's a good question, and it's not going to be one that you want because it's going to be the real one. So the thing is that whenever there's a crime that's committed, we don't want the public to overreact.
That's right.
And then obstruct justice.
Yep.
And not like in a physical aspect, but to like blame the person, whether it's the cop or the individual, for guilt. So you have to be very careful with how much information you put out at a time. Let's say that it's something more heinous like a murder.
I mean, look like there's anything of interest there.
No repercussions.
Oh, that's a fucking lie.
Dante, let's go. Speak
I
to the
can't lie. I'm a cop.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? One of the only black people here, probably most likely. First of all, I want to give a shout out.
Get out. Leave. No, I'm kidding. No, we're kidding. We're kidding.
You're in the wrong neighborhood, boy.
I want to give a shout out to my lady, Madeline. I'm sure quite a few people know her.
Thank God, get to the fucking question.
I guess I don't really have a question. Well, we kind of
Oh,
is a question. I believe in a little bit more self-policing. I think smaller communities is kind of what we need to go to. What would you guys want to see for self-policing? Like, what would be the extent that citizens would do their own self-policing? How would that be structured? And what do we want to roll back when it comes to police? Because I think we do overextend ourselves when it comes to police. The dependency, I just hear people expect other men to do.
I got that. I feel like dudes should not wear
okay. Well, now this guy gets another joke.
Crocs.
Amen.
You can't defend shit with those fucking things on.
You know what you do? You call the fashion police on that.
It comes from the movie Idiocracy, by the way, Croc. So you should watch.
I smell a little pragmatism here on not releasing the footage. I think he was more getting at the point like you don't want necessarily just a mob forming where it's like, oh, we all hate this guy, we all want to lynch this guy, but based on like some potentially out of context footage, which isn't inherently pragmatist, I don't think.
Watch that movie. That's where it came from.
What's that? Did I just get threatened by a guy with Crocs? 'Cause
No, I'm not wearing Crocs, but I'm just saying
He's
it
a
comes from.
crocodile hunter.
Man, that's good.
And I'm a stingray.
Yeah, I'm scared of those fuckers.
You should be. They're terrifying.
All right, I think Michael's position is everybody gets a pitchfork and a torch.
My position is I wrote an article years ago about gun mandates, meaning you're mandated to own a gun.
I like that mandate. All right, our next challenger or person who wants to ask a question, the one, the only, Edgar the Puppet. Is Edgar the Puppet here? Come on down, Edgar the Puppet.
Oh, you can just tell this guy's going to be funny. Admentos, thank you very much for the $5 Australian. It really is just an implicit concession. Instead of making arguments, he acts like this because he knows he doesn't have an argument. Yeah.
I hate this next
Officer
guy.
Oinks, I love
Okay, all right, well, good. Hopefully
right.
this is enjoyable.
Yeah, this is super creepy. We're gonna do this.
I'm not creepy, bitch. Anyway, listen, I want to congratulate Alex Stein on his Ozempic use, and Tim for having a great choice of headwear, Michael for looking like Saddam Hussein, and the two bald bookends just for showing up. Thank you. All right, Michael, I think, look, you've raised some good points, but look, man, you are from the USSR, whatever, how many initials, I forget. I think you got a lot of... I think between the NKVD and the KGB, I think you got a lot of generational trauma that you're still dealing with, Michael. I might be wrong. We can hug it out later if you want.
can't.
Yeah, I don't want. I am not.
Yeah, so the argument is like, well, you just hate police because the police in the USSR were really bad and you're concerned about that. But it's like, then the question is, why were the police in the USSR so bad? Why were the police so terrible? And the answer is, again, because they had this monopoly, they had this impunity to act however they want. But as Michael has shown in this debate, all of these points also apply to the US police, perhaps less so, right? They don't have quite as much impunity as a Soviet, secret police officer would have. But they do have just this protection from any sort of consequences, which is the bad part.
Not a cop. I'm not a cop. You want a puppet hug, Michael. I do. You do, bitch. You need a big, firm puppet hug. I will let you put your hand in my puppet hole if you're extra gentle.
Search his puppet hole.
Aram, your argument is invalid because you were born somewhere in a particular place and time and learned a particular culture, standpoint, epistemology. Yeah, like this is just pervasive in our culture. This anti-rationalism.
I'm sorry. I got too gentle. No safe words. Listen. I think. Listen. No. No, I don't listen to cops, and that's what you have identified yourself as a cop today. So you got zero respect for me. If you listen to them, you shouldn't talk to them. It's not the same. Listen.
You sound like my wife.
I'm sorry. Dinner'll be ready tomorrow.
You sound like me now.
Listen, okay. All of you, in a recent episode of my wonderful YouTube channel, Ask America with Edgar, I was kicked out of the National Zoo lately. I was by police officers. I was unfortunately racially profiling animals, and they did not like that, and they kicked my ass out. I encourage you to view the episode because YouTube is throttling it big time. Regardless, though, those cops were friendly. They were doing their job as they.
Off topic, but look at what Ace did recently when exposing literal Nazi influence in LPNH and the Free State Project, as a lot of us plan to go to New Hampshire eventually. It'd be useful. Yeah, I could look into that. I'm just busy on the video at the moment, so I haven't really been paying attention. So funny this argument is being deployed against Michael because he was born in a totalitarian country, whereas the usual argument is that you were born in a first world country. Yeah. Heads I win, tails you lose, indeed. You're too privileged to know the truth, or you're too traumatized to know the truth.
He ushered me out and threw me onto the street. So, Rich, not all of them are bad. They're not all bad, but the point is, if someone friendly tells you can't see your mom in the nursing home as she dies, it's not the attitude that's the problem. So they're doing their job correctly.
That was the doctors, though.
Michael, everyone, help themselves. Michael, everyone during COVID was being an absolute cockhole, except for everyone in this room.
But again, the point that Michael has is that just being a cockhole, that doesn't matter. But being a cockhole and having the impunity, having the ability to throw you in a cage, to imprison you for a year, that is the problem with police. Okay, and, Mr. Jokester, little puppet here, ventriloquist guy isn't really responding to that point.
Yeah.
Everyone. So, who the fuck can't? Wait a minute. If everyone is being a cockhole, they're being a cockhole. Doesn't excuse them. What are you talking about? Well, I'm not saying. I think that you might be steering us towards some sort of libertarian madness where there aren't enough rules. I think somehow we have to find a middle ground. Maybe. What does that even mean? What kind of rules are there if you want to say hi to your mom in the nursing home? The rules are you sign in and show ID. That's the rules. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't go to jail because you don't want her because she doesn't want to die alone. Yeah. I didn't hear that.
And you let them in because walls don't work.
Yeah. I think somehow before the end of the evening, I would like to see you and Rich kiss. That's all. I just want to get down to that home point. I'm going to start keeping kosher again to make sure that doesn't happen. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Give it up for Edgar the Puppet, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michael, everyone during the 90s, 40s was an order follower. You can't blame them for it. Yeah, indeed. Like, this is nonsense coming from the ventriloquist guy.
I'm only here because my cuddle buddy Alex Stein told my ass to come. Otherwise,
Yes.
I would have stayed home. And
Yeah, no, because I'm going to be in that puppet hole in a few minutes after the show.
Oh, they're both so funny.
That's fine.
I cannot wait for your wriggling fingers to send me home, buddy.
Get sit down. Give it up for Edgar. Everybody go watch his YouTube channel. All right, next. Finally, a woman, even though I think we had a fake woman already.
Hey, I'm right here.
No, well, two fake women. All right, Madeline, come on down. Madeline, hurry. Where you at, Madeline? Give it up for this lady. We've had two ladies.
That's the waitress, guys. That's.
Give it up for the waitress as well. Is Madeline here? I don't even. Did I see it? Is that her? Ooh, look at her.
Stand up this night.
Oh my god, you gotta fucking think of a question before you... You shouldn't be up in this Q&A question going like, this is not good.
Not sure what my question is.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Them all
I
too.
didn't.
Listen, have you ever been pulled over by a cop before, not knowing what the fuck was going on? Tell him how you feel.
Tell me how I feel. Yeah.
Tell him how small his dick is.
It's like a thimble.
Tell him how he has to do this job.
So I guess my question for Michael is, how are police a necessary evil as a...
He didn't say that they're a necessary evil. I think he said the opposite. I think he said he won't make the point in this debate. Like, he won't touch the point in this debate whether they're a necessary evil or not. I think what he explicitly said was he won't make the argument that they are a necessary evil. The way I was interpreting that was that he's just not going to touch the argument.
force our freedom, and they help us keep our freedom.
Wait, I don't understand the question.
Why are police a necessary evil?
I was saying for the sake of this debate, I'll say the police are necessary evil because people are of the belief.
Okay, well, that's what he's going. That's what he's going for.
I'm not going to argue against that today. That, but for the police, we would have like 2020 with 24/7.
So you're avoiding my question?
Sure. I don't understand the question, to be honest. Which part? What part are you confused about? The necessary part or the evil part?
A necessary evil. I think they're necessary, and I don't think they're doing anything that goes against what Americans do believe in.
Okay, a lot of Americans believe in stupid things. A lot of Americans thought that if you stand
Right.
6 feet apart, you can't catch a disease, which makes absolutely no sense, right? A lot of Americans, 48% of them, thought Officer Harris would be a great president. I strongly disagree, and half of those people would be on your jury if you were facing one. So keep that in mind if you're going to fight a charge.
Michael,
Okay,
real quick,
so-
98% on your jury in D.C.
Well, sure, in DC, right? Yeah,
You're going to prison.
Yeah, you're going to prison. As to why they're evil, the point is, if someone is a sociopath, as I think all politicians are, and you take it as your job, I'm not a sociopath, I'm just going to do whatever they tell me to do, that's not the actions of a moral person. That's the actions of someone who's handed over their conscience to people who they know are evil, or may not know are evil human beings.
Well, I think police officers take the job because I think they're doing something to help people.
That's true. I think a lot of, just, you know what, here's another example, the military. A lot of people, and probably some in this room, join the military because they think, okay, I want to protect my country.
Yeah, I think this is a broadly good way of dealing with it. It's like Malice is able to just kind of seed these points. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. They join the police because they think that they're helping the community. They think that they're doing these great things. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because it attracts also the people who want impunity to do evil. So you have the selection bias, and those people are protected when they do evil, and they've agreed to take orders from sociopaths to violate your rights. So all in all, again, the big justification at the top is that they are there to enforce your rights. And that justification has not been justified effectively.
I want to, help my community. I want to keep America free and safe, and that's very commendable. And then many people in the military are like, "What the fuck am I doing here? I was completely lied to." But the thing is, you can't quit the military because you're going to get court-martialed, possibly go to jail. But you can quit the police force at any time. And how many of them walked during COVID? Very, very few. They were more than happy to tell you, "Fuck you. You're not going to be able to say goodbye to your loved ones because I need my paycheck."
All right, thank you, Madeline. Now our next person, give it for Madeline, everybody. Now our next guy, I like this already, Joey Cannoli.
They need to get a fucking different camera operator or something. This guy keeps like fucking doing crazy shit.
Joey
Yeah!
Where
He
you
called
at?
in on the show.
Yo, what the fuck is up, Timcast?
Yo.
Laws are ridiculous. I think the laws literally only exist so the government can come after normal citizens.
I'm okay with this guy so far.
Because every time like a politician or a big corporation breaks a fucking law, like you have to have like a grocery list of things to go after them for. But when it's a normal citizen knocking over a fence at the Capitol, they will fucking track you down.
Yeah.
What was the question?
There is no question. I'm making a statement.
Hell yeah.
Joey, come on down for 3 minutes. Hurry, get your ass down here.
All right, guys, give it up for Joey. He's
Give
going
it
up.
up for Joey. All right, Joey.
You know, there was a report that I've sent before from 2005, I think it was.
Is that Joey?
That's Joey
Okay.
Cannoli.
Nice to meet you.
Citigroup said that we live in a plutonymy where the interests of the public don't matter. And if the majority of the people said something should be illegal, politicians don't give a shit. But if around 30% of wealthy individuals decide it's illegal, it will be. So big corporations, politicians, powerful unions never get held accountable. But regular people will get tossed in jail for jaywalking.
Two-tier justice system, yeah.
Which brings me back to my original point: don't wear Crocs.
These aren't Crocs.
If you
Joey, what do you got for us, Joey?
I'm just thinking about like how it's wild how we need like to come up with this big laundry list of things to arrest some politicians or corporate leaders on because they constantly break the law all the fucking time. And,
Here's why it's not the cops' fault necessarily.
Oh, okay,
because
well,
Stop the fucking presses.
Yep, if the politicians passed a law to stop the presses, the cops would be more than happy to enforce
Yeah.
it. They have no respect for any amendments, including the first or the second, because the First Amendment also included the right to peaceably assemble, and that was never enforced during COVID.
I got to stop you there, Michael, because you're wrong. The police had no problem during COVID enforcing things that weren't even laws.
Oh, that's correct, sure. In fact, you and I got into an argument on your show because I was calling something law. You're like, shut up, no, it's not a law, it's like an edict.
Which one? I don't know.
Well, governor from New York, she had some kind of she had some kind of ruling,
Right.
and you're like, it's not a law, stop calling it a law. It was not even a level of law.
She just decreed.
Decreed.
Decreed. And the cops were like, you got it.
So the point I was making with Joey's
That-
point is wealthy people will always have better access to justice because they're gonna have better lawyers. And there's nothing you can do around it unless you go full communist and just have everyone have a shitty.
Oh, bro, it gets better than that. They don't even need the lawyers.
That's true,
Sometimes
too.
when the prosecutors find out they're going up against a guy with millions of dollars, they say, "Are we going to be able to win this? Why are we going to waste the resources?"
So that's like part of the problem is that like there's no enforcement wing against people who have a lot of assets and wealth. There's almost nothing.
Unless it's a public spectacle.
Yes, unless it's something like they can like actually, like for example Donald Trump, like they would obviously he's trying to go at the system, so of course they're going to try to do all they can.
What if real quick? What if we just got rid of the rich people and took all their stuff and distributed it evenly among everybody?
Well, no, he has a good point though. Well, I want to say my very good friend Joe Exotic, the Tiger King. We love him, but he got famous after he went to prison. If he would have gotten famous before and he had the money to actually fight in his case with a good criminal defense attorney, his outcome would have been totally different.
And he almost got pardoned by Trump.
Oh, come on! He needs to get pardoned. Trump pardoned Joe Exotic. You let Kodak Black out.
Hold on. But he didn't get pardoned because he had money. He got pardoned because.
I mean, there's not really anything going on here. I mean, is there anything else interesting in this stream? As far as I can tell, I gotta fucking alter those Nightbot settings. It's getting pissed off at everybody. As far as I can tell, Michael Malice just totally won. I'm not sure there's anything else to really go over here. I definitely do not agree with the common analysis that it was a total blowout victory for angry cops. That does not make any sense to me at all. But I do have one thing to end this stream off on. An interesting little experiment I have cooking up related to my next video. Let's see here. See if this will work. So, I've got I believe this will work. This thing should select, my goodness, a random viewer. I'm going to ask them a question. Next. Unique winners, yeah, okay. Choose a winner. Redacted. Reroll winner. Trexamon. Trexamon, are you here? Or is redacted actually here? Is that an actual name? It might actually be a name. Hold on. Let me see. No, that just looks like it's actually been redacted. Oh, Trexamon is here. Trexamon, okay. Trexamon. I don't know how to open that back up again. Anyway, so, Trexamon, I have a very important question for you. It is very difficult reductio ad absurdum here. Very difficult. Okay, so there are duties from the prism of theist morality and which entail a violation of self-ownership, which the NEP banks on. It's a contradiction of the two views, right? So, if you adopt Christian ethics, then there's a morality which comes from that, which is oppositional to the idea of self-ownership. So, here's the big reductio ad absurdum for self-ownership in favor of Christian ethics. Okay, so conscription. Do you think, given oh, sorry, redacted was here. Oh well. Do you think, given I mean, other people can answer this as well. We'll just see. Do you think, given self-ownership, will you bite the bullet? The biggest bullet ever. Will you bite the bullet? Bloody hell. That conscription is a bad thing. Let's see. Let's see if these people, if they can bite this big bullet, that conscription is evil. Trexamon, he bites the bullet. He bites the bullet. Conscription is indeed bad. There we go. Why do you think conscription might be bad? Is it because of self-ownership? And this was, we all saw it happen on stream. This was a random person. And conscription is bad. So this is interesting. This is very good for my research here. Just as a and a tram host also bit the bullet. Victory Garden bit the bullet. Evangelion enthusiast bit the bullet. Everyone's saying conscription is slavery. This is interesting because I've been told. I'll leak. I've been told by the most consistent motherfucker you know. He wasn't able to bite this bullet. It was just too hard for him. Because I've got a transcription of a debate here, where he actually didn't bite this bullet. He did not bite the bullet on conscription. So I don't know. These people must be crazy. I don't know. This is very strange to me. But yes, I did want to do a little experiment because I had predicted. Let's see. Yes, I predicted that I could get a random member of my community, pick a random member, and they would be able to bite this bullet. They would be able to more superiorly do this. So this might get clipped into the video. But yes, anyway, thank you very much to everybody who stopped by and who participated in this little experiment with me. And thank you very much, especially to everybody who donated money. It's very much appreciated. I'll be streaming more in the coming weeks. I might be able to get another one out this week. We'll see. But yeah, good stream. Again, total Michael Malice victory. Total Angry Cops loss. I was right again. So yeah,